Hello, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How are you feeling today? I've got amazing guests today, and beautiful Laurin and Kathy is from the Diamond Beauties Forever group, and beautiful TJ is from my Tanzanite Hero group. Oh, I am so excited. I cannot hide it. And it is 10 p.m. here in South Africa. Laurin is in Zimbabwe, and it's also 10 p.m. in where she is. I'm not too sure what is it in TJ, because I cannot remember, TJ, were you at Eastern Standard Time or in Central Standard Time? But we will ask when he's here. We will ask when he's here. So, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you this important question? Did somebody harm you in any way? Does this replay in your mind all the time? Do you know that that person that have done this to you don't even know it, or they forgot about it? Meanwhile, inside of your head is like a hamster on one of those wheels. You keep on going, thinking about it. What if you can let go and let God? What if you can write that person a letter to say exactly what I did something? How did you feel what I say or what I did? And then at the end you write, I forgive you with all my heart, the person's name, and forgive you with all my heart. And then you burn the letter. You burn the letter, let go, let God. And then you release yourself. You are free. You are free. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big thing. And the most important thing for me is forgiving myself. I lost a whole person in weight. The day I forgave myself, that day my weight even dropped more. It was not easy. But after that, let go, let God, it became easier. And forgiving all the people that have done stuff to me, especially when I was young, that made it even easier. So, I am so excited. Forgiveness is not supposed to be a happy topic. For me, it is. Because as soon as you let go of that heaviness, as soon as you let go of that, you can celebrate, you can start dancing. So I would love to take 3 deep breaths, and then I am going to play my beautiful sponsor, Jose Escapar from the Connected Leaders Academy, his video, and then when the video is finished, my beautiful guest will be in studio. Remember also, all my guests' bios and details in the show notes, and everywhere I have advertised, you are welcome to connect with them. I do see we have some viewers out there, and I do see we have comments. We will definitely give you a shout out. Please give us love, give us your comments. Are you ready to take 3 deep breaths with me? Here we go. In, exhale. Another one in, exhale. Last one in, exhale. Wow, incredible. Here we go.
Is Jose Escobar. I live in Washington, D.C. area. I'm a family man. I'm an entrepreneur, coach, author, and speaker. I have communities, I support people, I'm a servant leader, and the list goes on. And I'm primarily the CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. That's my bread and butter. That's my core offer, right? That's where I put most of my time and energy. And the Connected Leaders Academy is a growing community. It's a tribe of some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. We're now over 350 plus members, 42 states across the US, and 17 international countries. If you're an entrepreneur out there that's looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more money, more clients, right? This is the community for you.
Oh, wow. I'm so thankful towards my beautiful sponsor because with him sponsoring, he is helping me to pay for this amazing network. So I am truly so blessed. So my guest is here. My guest is here. So before we start, I'm quickly doing a shout out to Angena. She said Angena is here. And then Business Crossing Network said, let go, let God. Yes. Oh, wonderful. So wonderful. So, my beautiful ladies in the Diamond Beauties and also my gentlemen in the Tanzanite Hero, if you do give us comments, we cannot see your names. So, please put your names down for us and we can do a shout out. So, my beautiful Laurin, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what forgiveness means for you?
Thank you, Sanet. So, I am the founder of a program, Soul DNA, that helps you connect deeply to your soul and brings about a change in your life that is literally connecting you to the God within. And forgiveness, what led me to this, and part of the program is discovering and redefining forgiveness entirely, where forgiveness is not necessarily about forgiving the other person, because it's changing your perspective that without the adversity of the other person, you would never have found the strength within to be where you are today. And so forgiveness for me is about forgiving our limited understanding of self and what we are capable of doing and achieving.
Wow. Are we going to explore a little bit more on that, the last part of your saying? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
coming back to you. I'm coming back to you. Oh, thank you so much. My beautiful TJ, please introduce us. Please tell us, are you on Eastern Standard Time or Central? I could not remember when I was looking at you. And please tell us what forgiveness means for you.
Well, thank you for having me, Sanet. And I am in the Eastern time zone, so it is after 3 p.m. here today. And I am the owner of Hung Right Home Services, which is a handyman company that specializes in the small jobs. My tagline is all the jobs that you can do, but don't want to. And for me, forgiveness really means freedom, because being unforgiving and not being willing to let go of that thing can really feel like chains. It can be emotional chains, it can be mental chains, and it can even lead to physical chains where you end up inhibiting yourself from even moving forward and doing things to progress in life. So when you are able to put forth an effort to really forgive, you break those chains and enter into a new freedom.
I love it. And my beautiful TJ, we met in the CLI or Connected Leaders Academy. How did it feel to see our beautiful leader Jose's video?
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was really good. Yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, my beautiful Lauren, I don't think Kathy is going to come in. So, I'm going to give them a minute or two for you to speak about that last part of the topic of about forgiveness and your soul DNA. And then I'm going to fetch her video I made for a few, I think in October, so that I still can introduce her because she is part of the show. And then, but I'm going to give it over to you. Please tell us a little bit more.
So I I realized many, many years ago that forgiveness is something that is taught to us through society, through religion, through what is expected of us. And so there's an expectation behind it that puts a pressure on ourselves. And so for me personally, it was a lot easier said than done. And I think we all know that we have to forgive. And there's so many different people out there that help us to understand forgiveness. And yet, it's not as simple, right? When we're sitting on our own and we're being completely honest with ourselves, there's still unforgiveness there. It just needs the trigger in order to get you back to that place. And so I kind of just looked at it from an out the box perspective, and I realized that all the people that I hated, all the people that I held that unforgiveness towards, what if I looked at it from a different perspective? Because if I took them out entirely, would I be who I am today? For the people that beat me, for the people that hurt me, for the people that spoke badly about me, I that in itself brought about an anger, and it brought about an injustice. And I used and harnessed that injustice in order to get to where I am today, in order to birth a program, in order to be successful. And it's when I realized the role that they had to play in my life, there was something so beautiful about it, where I could almost look at it and say, what if I called this into being because I needed the adversity to get me to where I am today? And the moment I realized the role that they had played and that they were part of my story, the forgiveness comes automatically and the gratitude comes to them for being a part of my life from there. And so the forgiveness to self then comes in for my own ignorance that I thought they were there to harm me. And so, yes, there is harm that takes place. I've been through a lot. But ultimately, if I was going to counsel domestic violence and sexual abuse and rape and all of that, it comes from a place that, hey, I can relate to that and I can show you how to let that go. And so for me, the forgiveness of self was of my limited understanding and in not trusting that I was going to be okay. And so if I looked at my inner child that stayed calm throughout the whole thing, there was always forgiveness there.
So, my beautiful TJ, can you understand why I have asked beautiful Laurin to come and talk to us about forgiveness? Because we actually had a session 5 months ago.
Mhm.
And then I asked her, I have an amazing session on forgiveness early in January. Will you come and speak to us there? And you said yes. And I was like over the moon. So I've got a few messages before going over to TJ, and I have Kathy's video. So after TJ, I will play Kathy's video. So let me quickly read. It says, Denise say, hello, I'm here. Hello, Denise. And then Business Crossing Network say forgiveness means freedom. That speaks to me. And that is what you said, my beautiful TJ. And then, hello, my beautiful people. So I don't know if that is Denise, but let us know who that is. And then Business Coaching Network said, if I took them out entirely, would I be where I am today? Wow, Laurin. I tell you, when she was talking to me, I was like, no, this is I never heard this the way that you were talking about. I never heard that way, because the way that it was taught to us is to forgive, but in a way, you have to thank them because they have helped you to do what you need to do where you are in the moment. So I loved it. So let me just see. I think another one comes through. And Shelina says, "You on fire, on fire." Oh wow. So my beautiful TJ, just hearing now what Lauren said, um, how did forgiveness play an important role in your life?
Well, for me, I can speak specifically to having to forgive myself, um, and to also forgive people in my life, especially as a child. There were some trauma there, right, from parents, and it really can mess up a relationship when there is no forgiveness, you know. Um, so getting to a point where I could let go of that. I don't really want to use the word hate, but it was a very strong dislike for them. And also being able to have a little grace, understanding that maybe they didn't know exactly how or what to do, having children. It has really, really helped heal those relationships. Because at one time, I really felt like I wasn't going to talk to my mother anymore. And it was like a goal, which lets you know how deep the unforgiveness was. Like, I just don't want to talk to you. I want to deal with it. But now, being able to come to that place where you can say to yourself, it's okay, you know, um, and she's okay, and just let go of that hurt and that pain, and even also some guilt. Our relationship has blossomed. We talk almost every day now on FaceTime. We smile. Um, Most of our talks is smiles. Like, it's just fun, you know. So it's great. Forgiveness is great. It has led us to this place, and I'm thankful for that.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So, my beautiful Lauren, can you tell us a little bit how are you serving other people?
So, for me, serving other people comes not of my own strength or my own understanding at all. So, I understand that I'm just a vessel and that I'm to be used in any way possible. So, for any person that steps into my life, for every person I come into contact with, it's probably the first step for me is always acknowledging their emotions. Because, again, being out the box, anger is the most incredibly beautiful emotion, as is betrayal, as is frustration and depression for me. And so serving people for me is validating their emotions. It's validating where they're at and validating their states of being. It's never about getting them out the other side because they get themselves out the other side. I'm just the one that validates what they need. And I think so often the moment you validate somebody's feelings, that creates safety. I'm not here to take away anger. Anger actually is probably the one emotion that keeps you safe, the only emotion that keeps you safe. And so for me, redefining how we see personalities, how we see emotions, that for me is how I serve people around me, is by allowing them to be authentic. I don't want them to get out of it. I don't want them to have to fight against it. I want them to honor it instead.
Wow, beautiful. So, teacher, I have a message from for you. Powerful story. Thank you for sharing, TJ. So, my beautiful Lauren, do you have a story for us to tell us a story on your own journey? Oh,
of
yeah, somebody said,
forgiveness.
I love when you said validation. I love that as well. Do you do you have your own a story of your own on forgiveness that you can maybe share with us?
So I recently, very recently actually, I want to be more than I was yesterday. Every single day I wake up, I understand the privilege it is to wake up. And so I always go to bed at night that if I may wake up tomorrow, let me be more. And so I woke up a couple of weeks ago and said, show me unforgiveness. And I think when we ask the universe, we ask God to show us without limitation, the most incredible stuff pops up. And so suddenly the most insignificant bits of unforgiveness started coming up because we assume that unforgiveness is the big stuff, right? Like in TJ's case where it's his upbringing, or, for me, it would be massive traumas or domestic violence, or that's what we assume and we link unforgiveness with. And can I tell you, it was the tiniest things that came up. People that had looked at me funny that I was holding on to, or somebody that had said an unkind word. You mentioned it at the beginning of your video that you hold on to, and they were so deep in my subconscious. I had completely forgotten about them. But because I'd said, show me, I don't want to have any unforgiveness. And I allowed space for that. All these little bits of unforgiveness came through. And so I sat on Facebook because I don't have their numbers. And equally, I drove if they were people here, whether it was on a street corner or whatever it was. And I forgave them, where I wrote a physical thing or I did a physical act and said, I set you free from my unforgiveness. It may not have been your unforgiveness, but my unforgiveness towards you has held me back, even though I didn't know it existed. And so that has been my most recent testimony of unforgiveness, where it was teeny tiny little things, and some of them hurt at the time, some of them got me angry at the time, whatever it was, whatever the injustice was. I believe that when we ask, show me, and we're prepared to open ourselves up, there's so much that we hold on to that and I'm a pretty proactive person in my life. I've overcome a lot. And so when all these little bits came together, I realized that if I took just one strand of hair, I couldn't see it. But when I took 20 strands of hair, I suddenly had a little rope. And I realized that that is what unforgiveness is like. And that has the ability to block an artery, or it has the ability to block, some form of my life. And I don't want that. I want everything to flow in its best capacity possible.
Wow, beautiful. I've got a question for you, Lauren. Beautiful Crystal Rose, all the way from Canada, say, wow, unforgiveness. What a great message. And then I'm sorry, I skipped a question. Here's a question. Love you, constantly trying to improve yourself. Very inspirational. I just want to see if I did miss a question. No. And then I've got another message from Natasha. Thank you for sharing, TJ. It seems your forgiveness helped to heal not only you, but may have helped your mother as well. Forgiveness can help heal more than ourselves. I love it. Thank you so much, Natasha, for that. And then I've got another one. It says, I set you free from my unforgiveness. Wow,
Mm.
powerful, Lauren. I needed that. I love that. I love that as
And
well.
it's so subtle. That's what I realized. And at first I thought, this is silly, but it's not.
I love it. So, my beautiful TJ, can you tell us how are you serving the world? Because remember when we had our coffee chat, I was blown away by your ability to give, your ability to let everybody feel amazing. So, how are you serving the world?
I serve the world currently by making sure that I am okay. And I think that making myself better, knowing that I have experienced a lot of things that has affected my mental health, um, working on me so that I can be a better person, um, makes my relationships better, but it also creates an example to be followed, especially for men of color in my country. There's a lot of things, a lot of traumas that we have endured, and we really need to be seeking some help to deal with some emotional baggage, right? So while I go through my own stuff, I seek help, and I tell people that I seek help so that they can see that it's okay, and our lights can shine together. Two lights, three lights, four lights is better than one, right? So I get better. I set the example so others can see, and then they can get better as well.
I love that. And then you also in your working environment, you said you are fixing everything, every small, and then when you go out to people that need your services, you do it with such a light heart and just beautiful. You just service them with beautifulness. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, I do handyman work, and it's enjoyable for me. For example, many people don't like putting together IKEA furniture. Well, for me, it's like therapy, right? I just like fixing things. I like at the end, there is a happiness. I had a client the other day that I hung this huge painting for. And once it was up in her place, it was complete. And she was just so excited. And that just makes me excited. And my love for doing the work just has me sometimes walking around the house saying, well, this loose, let me go ahead and tighten this up while I'm here. And the clients really, really appreciate that because there's things that I just do around the house. I don't charge them for it. I just see that it needs to be done. And while I'm there with my bag of tools, I get it done for them. So, and that is also another way that I am of service, and being of service in any way that you can be a way to turn your whole day around. Just knowing that the actions um, that you completed that day or something that you said really helped someone else out, it can really make your heart just as bright. So, yeah, I really
Wow.
enjoy the work.
I loved it. I loved it when we had our coffee chat. You said if somebody, there's something not right and they ask for one particular job and then you see something, you help them. I thought, you are such a kind person, DJ. Thank you so much for that. And may I ask you this question? How many men phone you to come and help them with most? Is your clients mostly women, or do you have men that say, "Come"?
Yes. So the majority of my clients are women, but there are some men as well that do call me. A lot of times they don't have the time to do it. It's not that they can't, they're just busy professionals, and they would rather just pay someone else to take that time out to do that work, which I don't mind at all.
Oh, wow, amazing. So, my beautiful teacher and Lauren, will you please permit me to quickly play Kathy's video? So, my beautiful ladies, Kathy could not make it. She said she's going to try, but she could not make it. But I did a video for her I think it was in October. So, you will be able to quickly meet her. I am playing a video now.
Hello, I'm Kathy Minter and I live in upstate New York. I am a health and wellness coach, I'm an entrepreneur, and a first-time author. I want to just share with you what got our aha moment for us to start our journey. It was this bottle of peppermint. One drop, breathe in, and it was just an overwhelming feeling. Today, I share these essential oils and other products with many families. You can find me on my website, which is Essenti, ESSENTY.com/Kathy Mincer. And of course on Facebook. Love to hear from you.
My beautiful Kathy, I hope everything is okay on your side, and I would love to talk to you soon. And please take care and enjoy your day. So, my beautiful Laurin, TJ, I think there is a message for you. Let me just quickly see. Oh, yes, that's cool because I saw it came in when you are fixing, you come for one and then you see other things that's coming up. So, my beautiful Laurin, um, can you told us a little bit about your program that you birthed? Can you please tell? It was also very funny when I heard that as well because you never think of writing a program and I never thought that terminology to put with a program. Can you please tell us a little bit about your program and also about your coffee chats?
Yes, coffee chat. So I birthed the program, and I say birthed because I think anything that is worthwhile, anything that requires that level of pain and is a birthing process. There are sometimes things that just happen to fall on our laps that are easy, but there are some things that you really have to wrestle with. And so Soul DNA was birthed as a result of me being completely misunderstood my whole life and labeled many, many labels that I was too shy or too outspoken or too passionate or angry or sadistic or whatever it may be. And I didn't resonate with any one of these labels. And I couldn't understand why people used parts of my personality and parts of my emotions as a label that I couldn't resonate with. And so I was actually at the time working with bipolar and schizophrenic clients. And the one person had 13 different personalities. And I got to learn the 13 different personalities throughout our sessions. And I could identify with some of these personalities. And I realized, hey, that could be me, or that could be me. And I realized, like, this person, like, I'm busy trying to cast out all the personalities when I realized if I just sat true to myself, if you put me in a certain situation, if you put me in a school situation with my girls, I show up in a certain personality. If you put me in a corporate meeting, I show up in a certain personality. If you put me in a toxic situation, I'm going to show up in a certain personality. And so I realized that we all have these multiple personalities and these different areas of our lives that just need the right activations in order for them to come through. And so with consent, obviously, I started with the families that I was working with. I started minimizing the amount of personalities, and I came down that every single person has a good, a bad, and an ugly. That was the easiest way for me to brand it. Every one of us has a good, a bad, and an ugly. But that what if I owned who I was? What if I had spent so many years trying not to be painfully shy? What if I just said I'm shy? When somebody said to me, you're so outspoken, I know. You're very opinionated, I know. And I realized that the minute I knew exactly who I was, my soul DNA, what made me up inside, and I put them into whether it was a good category, a bad category, or an ugly category, I realized that it was in that moment that nobody else ever got to label me again because I had the ability to label myself. And within that labeling system, within the program, my ugly is my irrationality and my anger. And I realized through working with the schizophrenic and bipolar that for many of us, it is very similar, our uglies. But the ugly was there to protect the good. It was like the big brother that stepped in and lost the temper and screamed and yelled and shut the party down and threw the furniture and picked up the good little me and walked me out to safety. So at that point, everybody ran. And when I realized that the bad were triggers, my impatience and my intolerance were just triggers to get me out of bad situations. They were parts of my personality that were desperately sending signals saying, Laurin, get out, get out. And I learned how to build a relationship with every part of my soul and my personality, that I could live a soul-based life, understanding exactly what each one meant, what role each one played. And the more I built a relationship with every single, we each have probably between 40 to 80 soul DNA codes and so, or strands. And when I built a relationship with every single one of them, I realized I didn't need to be a strategist or a perfectionist as a mum. So I could deactivate all of that. But I needed to be that in a business meeting. And I realized I don't have a maternal DNA strand, but I have a nurturing one. So I could stop beating myself up trying to find, where's my maternal? I've got 2 girls and I can't find my maternal. and I and I could instead own it and say, but I'm a nurturer. And I'm an epic cook and I can make the best lunchboxes and I can show you how to be a mum like that. And I realized all this pressure is just lifted off of us when we know exactly who we are and people no longer have the power to define us.
I'm going to come back to you, TJ. I just want to say this lady, Business Crossing Network, said every one of us had a good, bad, and ugly. Wow, Laurin, amazing. So, TJ, what do you think of what Laurin just said? But it makes sense. When I spoke to this lady the first time, I was like this. Wow. Remember, Laurin? Wow. I cannot wait for people to meet you. What do you say, TJ?
Well, I think the thing that stands out to me about what Lauren said is really defining yourself and knowing yourself. Um, and to me, that relates a lot to being honest with yourself and who you are. Because a lot of times, society, religion, our family, and friends can all really place pressure on us to fit in a certain box. And we try and try and try so hard to fit into this box, to appease them and to make sure we don't hurt anyone's feelings, when it's really not us. So we're kind of struggling inside, with ourselves, trying to be something that we're really not. And when we can just have that honest conversation with ourselves and say, okay, well, you are this. And this is who you are. This is what you like. This is what you do. And it shouldn't matter if anyone else thinks differently of that. Be yourself and live in that. And there is, again, a freedom that comes with that. Once you are able to actually define yourself, know who you are, and then live in that without worrying about what someone else may want you to do or may say about what you're doing or how you're living. There is so much of a freedom in that. And it is a lifelong journey, and one that I am glad that I am on, because, again, going back to being of service, it's making me better, right? To be able to be my honest, authentic self, TJ, the person you see before you now. And if you see me tomorrow, I'm going to be the same dude, right? So, yeah, I appreciate that, Lauren. That was very good. Good
It was
share.
beautiful. Thank you. So, my
And
beautiful
the
TJ.
ones. I forgot to
Sorry,
say,
Laurin.
sometimes we have dormant soul DNA codes.
Mm.
Sometimes trauma from our childhood. I realized that my whimsy was dormant from being told, don't be so silly from people around me. I lost my whimsy and I found it within I couldn't understand it. And yet, the moment that's activated, so much comes through. For me, it was whimsy, but every one of us has dormant DNA codes, soul DNA codes that come through.
Yeah.
I love it. So for me, my beautiful TJ, I had a very big stomach.
Mm.
And when I lost the weight, when I was laughing out of my stomach, there was not that big stomach to make it sound like a drum. So when I started to laugh when I lost the weight, my family used to say, "Oh no, Sanet, don't laugh out loud. It sounds too you know that." And I thought, "Oh my goodness, I am not going to stop laughing." I still laugh out of my stomach, although it's a little bit higher than the drum, because I love my laughter. And I made a decision that day that your ears need to adjust to my laughter. I'm not
That's
going to
right.
stop laughing. And now they love the new laughter. Well, not new now because it's now 2 years later, not new now anymore, but I didn't stop. So, yes, I love that, teacher. I love it. So, please tell us, what is your favorite color bowling ball?
Well, currently, my favorite color bowling ball is orange and gray and black, and it's very, very heavy. Uh, but that is my favorite color bowling ball today. It's funny that you would ask that question because, kind of going back to knowing yourself, I was asking myself the question of I've always said that blue was my favorite color, but I really feel like I just picked that because someone else said that blue. So here I am, 46 years old, saying, "Do I have a favorite color?" I haven't answered that question yet.
I love it. And you also love music. So, can you please tell us what is your forever song?
My forever song. What a question. I have.
I think we did dance on it, TJ. Let me just go and look at what was it. Just give me 1 second. I've got my whole database here. You will not believe.
Oh, I
Um,
think I know what song it was.
TJ, I stand alone, God smack.
That's right. I Stand Alone by Godsmack. That is
Yes,
my
and
forever song.
we
Um,
had such a beautiful song, a dance.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. I Stand Alone by Godsmack came out while I was in prison. And there was a time in my life where a lot of my family and friends, I'm not going to say that they left me, but they just wasn't around, you know? And I actually had to come to a point within myself where I said, you know what? You can't just keep blaming everybody else for where you are. You are the problem. You have to fix you. And I remember deciding that day that I was going to take accountability and say, yes, if I did it, then I did it. If I said it, then I said it. Right. Um, and just knowing that it was me, I had to put in the work. I had to really make things happen for me. So when I heard that song, it was like the validation of me standing here doing what I needed to do in order to make sure my life was good. And that responsibility being all mine. So for me, the song doesn't mean forget everybody else. It just identifies who's the main person and what's going on in your life, which is the person in the mirror.
I remember that day when we did the dance. You just came up and I asked you, my beautiful TJ, will you have a dance with me? And
Yes.
you were like, well, okay, okay. And we had a dance. But when the song started to play, you were surprised I played that song. And you got
Yes.
tears in your eyes. I cried also that day. It was such a beautiful, I will never forget. How did you feel when this lady asked you from South Africa, will you have a dance with me?
It was so surprising. And believe it or not, when I talk about you in this show, that's one of the things I bring up. Like, she asked me to dance. No one has ever done that. And, that's my thing. I will move this chair out the way right now and cut a two step. And so it was very, very shocking. And I felt like, we was on a similar vibe that day. The fact that we
Wow.
both don't mind dancing, especially when there's a tune being heard.
Wow, that was beautiful. You will get another chance, my beautiful TJ, because right at the end, I am going to ask the viewers and the Diamond Beauties and Tanzanideras if they would love to have a dance with us. And then you can move your chair and we will dance. Thank you
Feeling it
so much,
already.
my beautiful. Thank you, my beautiful TJ. So, Lauren, we did talk a lot about the program that you are doing, but you're also doing a coffee chats. I attended only one. I do apologize. But are you still continuing with that?
So we will probably, I've been led to doing masterclass for the soul this year, and so that will be launching soon. I still the same sort of energy as coffee conversations. I loved coffee conversations. It was a place where we everybody rolls in their pajamas, everybody has a cup of coffee, and it's just where we gather with no judgment and whatever. I'm just the vessel as always, and whatever is to be spoken about, whatever is to be channeled, or whatever it is that everyone, I feel the collective energy, and that is what we deal with in that. And so this year is, I want to expand my own healing and the way I heal others. And so masterclass for the soul is something that I feel very passionately about, where we are just going to be having tons of just opportunities for people that want their healing. As TJ said, you have to save yourself. And so for me, it's about creating a platform where people can say, hey, that's relevant to me. I want to get over forgiveness, or hey, I want to understand what happens. Let's break down sexual abuse. Hey, let's break down, something traumatic, or just enlightenment, awakenment. I don't mind what it is. I have a list of subjects for people to go through, but they will be advertised on my social media platforms.
And how can people get hold of you?
Through social media, through Facebook or Instagram, any one of those. There's an email address, info@laurinmariani.com, and they can get hold of me there. But I love the connection on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like you. I like
Yes,
that instant.
that's true. And tell us, what is your forever song?
Uh, I think I remember I said to you I had many, but probably Sun Moon, a song
Yes,
called Wonder. That was
yes.
it.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. It was also the first time I heard it and was beautiful. And can you tell us, please, what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget, I couldn't remember. I wrote it down. Let me read it. It's not until you realize that you may not see tomorrow that you will truly live for today.
I love it. I loved it. My beautiful TJ, how can people get hold of you?
You can find me on the social media under Hung Right Home Services on Instagram and Facebook. Um, you can also go to my website, hungrightomeservices.com, and you can contact me through there.
And will you be able to help people if they're not in your vicinity to phone you and say, TJ, I am here in South Africa. what spanner do I need to do this? I don't know. I don't have the right terminology.
Absolutely. I have actually helped people on video do some work around their house. So, yes, I'm available for that too.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is FTS, which is short for Forget That Stuff. And it is a reminder that there are going to be some things in our life that we cannot do anything about. So we have to forget about that stuff and focus on the things that we can change.
That's amazing.
FTS is a stress manager for me because a lot of times we can start stressing over things that we really can't change. So it's like, okay, I see that I can't do nothing about this. Forget it.
I love that. So, my beautiful TJ, we actually are finished. My beautiful Lauren, our time is up. Can you believe? So, I am going to say thank you so much for honoring me being here. And if I can quickly just talk to the viewers and then come and ask if you would love to have a dance with me. My beautiful viewers, I hope that you have loved the show. It was amazing, isn't it? It was amazing. My beautiful diamond beauties and Tanzanite heroes, we came live onto the group. Also, if there's any other comments that come through and didn't come through here, we will definitely pick it up on them. And then I just want to say, everyone, please look after yourself, smile often, and keep on dancing. But Lauren and my beautiful DJ, will you have a dance with me?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes. My beautiful viewers, will you have a dance with us? They say yes, they say yes. Did you hear? Did you hear? Here we go. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not there yet. Here we go. Here we go.
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away. Smiling at a moonbeam or
Go,
swinging in the
TJ, go.
sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love.
TJ, Lauren.